Looks like everything's up. I'm assuming that ping is the bot doing its job. Let's go. Okay. Alrighty. Honestly, I think I'll just hop on QM for the couple of minutes we have before everything gets started. Yeah, let's goof around. Slowly learn this character. I might need it someday. That still hit me instant, really. Yep. Peacock is dead. Punk. I just want to use this skull again. Sad. I dropped those. They dropped those. I don't want to deal with this, Not really sure how the day will swap sides though. Ah, my brain circuited. Wrong button. Jump play punch my beloved. Also gotta make sure I'm not missing anything important. No, Discord, I would not want to make a new server. I see. I was not paying attention. Really? Mm. That was intelligent of me. I also did not realize I had my chat covered. Oh, they're actually being really patient. I'm just... Yeah, apologies. I accidentally ended up having Twitch chat covered. Yeah, right now I'm just doing audio testing, whatever. Started up late, so I figured I'd just do QM rather than get up an open lobby. I was so ready for a further. I blocked that. Yeah. That wins? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought that giant stuff was gonna hit me. Oh my god, how does this character work? FIFA, please. That is... That hits. Oh man. I want an assist call. What button did I get? I almost timed it. Mesh. Thank you. Okay. By my level 3. Into the void. Into the void. Hey, are you gonna kill me? What? You killed me. Munch.
One more time.
I just this. Get me out of here. Okay, that's not actually a thing. Understood. I might have just killed my Alyssa. I thought I had a little bit more time than that. Why is it not punishable? Wait, what? Let me just... That's unfortunate. A lot of meter for a lot of damage, though. That was all we were looking at. Okay. Does this kill? This will not kill, not in the slightest. Oh no. Okay, but they pressed. I think if they asked to stay there, I still lost. I think I was too close. Dang, it reaches so far. It's nice dodging. Her air dash is so weird. I wanted cross up. Oh, I did it too late. Have fun taking all of this chip. Oh, really? Okay, die. That... How did I press head punch there? That's a safe jump. That beat my... Interesting. I don't know how I got heavy punch there. I was literally just trying to jump over him and not press anything, but it is time to get started. Ended the first to 5 on the dot at the right spot. Which is good. Aki might be joining us, so I'll just do this. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, greetings one and all. And welcome to Get Gr8. It is Dunce, so it'll be a little bit of a scuffed setup. I don't got all the fancy stuff that JP has, but I'm here in his stead. And so... we got all that going. The matchups are already out. So right now we have a beginner open lobby, I'm pretty sure. That is the case indeed. So if y'all are middle-ish beginner, obviously it varies a lot because of it's a wide skill category, but around 100-ish hours is probably a good shot. Feel free to volunteer yourselves and hop in. But first, I will be getting... I need to get the lobby link. Oh, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I need to reset settings. So y'all can see if I get pulled out. That'll do it. So lobby link is pinned and Get Gr8. Looks like all that's good. And now I think we have... My brain... I can't find the channel I was just on. Yeah, you're in your destroyer. You are up versus an open lobby, so... I hate... I'm assuming it's just gonna ping the right person. Because I can only see the first letter of your name when I'm in streamer mode, for whatever reason. Okay, so you're up, and then we got an open lobby. I'll first ask, again, like the two chats. If there's anyone who wants to join, otherwise I'll do a quick beginner ping. If both of those fail, I'll do the good old-fashioned crank, like beginner introduction sort of deal. And I think I said 5 flat today. Might be pushing it a little bit, but oh well. Yeah, 5 flat. So we got Destroyer in here. I will defer to people who haven't signed up, but you would be a good match. I saw you had signed up for intermediate, so I decided to not match you with Destroyer, but if you want to hop in, give it like a minute and no one else in chat wants to, that'll be perfectly fine for you to hop in. Although I probably will focus mostly on him because you'll be up right after, if that makes any sense. But yeah, let's just wait until like 7:05, and if no one else... Spread the love if we can, if not, just keep the show on the road. And again, if stream audio, whatever, anything needs to be adjusted, please let me know. And I will gladly get up. Or not get up, fix it. I got distracted by an incredibly cursed image. Alright, yeah, Lucia, just hop on in here. We'll get this going. I'll also put the link in Twitch chat, because you can actually click on that link instead of, like, Discord. Yeah, not a first to 5, just 5 flat games. So no matter result, 5 total. Uh-oh. Also, highly recommend, because I think some of y'all are new faces around here, highly recommend pausing the stream while you're playing. Just focus on playing your game, don't worry about listening to stuff as we're talking about it. This will also help connection issues, just in case you don't have a live stream running in the background. And then afterwards you revisit. The VOD is available immediately, even during the stream, so you can just go back to the Skullgirls Get Gr8 Twitch like page, you go to videos and the live video will be on right now. Or you can wait until after the stream or wait until it's put on YouTube. All of the above are good. But yeah, highly recommend pausing while you're playing and then watching afterwards, just to avoid distractions and possible connection issues. Alright, let's see what we got. Parabam, Pisolokua. Kind of just swinging around a little bit, still getting a feel for which buttons we like to use where. Cross up, captain. Nice. Okay, we do have a route using the assist. Go for mix. Okay, yeah. No worries, I won't count this game. Just kill them, Lucio. Alright, yeah, no worries. Get that fixed up real quick. Yeah. One thing I will say for the mix I just saw you do, honestly, it's a really minor detail. I'm not going to go into that nitty-gritty now. We're not at that stage of the game. Ignore me. I am being pedantic for minor details that don't matter until you get really far into the weeds of this game. It's a very good solid mix setup. That is the classic Parasol left right. I'm glad to see you've got a way to do it and also front load brass. It's already a really good start. Alright, game one, we'll count the first one, see what's up. Got shadows going, blocking brass, jump heavy kick. Shadowless B&B, not keeping track of IPS. Happens. Opened up like good block. Parasol throw. Okay, big thing to keep note of. Getting hit with a jump heavy punch and nothing before it is a blue bounce. You can tech on the ground. Always keep that in mind, because you just gave them a combo that shouldn't have actually been a combo. Teching is quite important in this game, and so like right there, you can tech immediately and prevent them from getting a combo. And the timing's a little wonky, it takes a bit to get used to, but always attempt it. Yeah, so you tech there, nice. Man, I'm sure you're already aware of this, Lucio, but not heavily encouraged, just understand that jump medium kick, jump heavy punch does have a tendency to go over some of the smaller characters. I do it all the time when I'm trying to convert off pillar butchers. So, yeah, just a thing to keep in mind. If you're just wanting to stick with that route, A-okay. That's a heavy damage route. But be aware when you're practicing and try and get used to dealing with flubbing randomly. Falling button, get the hit. A low crush. Yeah, unfortunately, Love Dart point blank is a bit depressing at times. Good answer. Missed the call a little too early. It is what it is. Nice. Keeping it simple. Understood you could kill. Go into super. 100% agree. So yeah, the two of you definitely getting a grip on a lot of the things you're trying to do. Starting to get the routes down. They're not fully consistent, so that's one thing to definitely be paying attention to. And then the other big thing is kind of just figuring out a game plan in neutral. The way I describe or recommend doing it is kind of just figure out which buttons you really like playing around. So for like you destroyer, I see you like using 2 medium kick a lot, so get yourself in positions you can do that, as well as up forward jump heavy kick. You do that a lot, and so thinking about getting yourself in ranges where that will always be a threat, play there accordingly. Do we have the happy birthday snap? Okay, we have one. If you're interested in getting this faster, I'm pretty sure there end up being slightly better ones on the wiki. If you go into the combos page, there should be a section for corner double snaps. Highly encourage looking at that if you want to kill the assist a little bit faster, which is important because the longer you take, the more meter they gain. But great start already having a double snap. Unfortunate drop on the throw confirm. Fair enough. Probably usually recommend BFF there instead, but either or work, honestly. It's a really good check. Just understand throwing it out willy-nilly can get you in a bit of danger, so hope you're doing that on reaction. If you are, big thumbs up from me. But yeah, going back to my previous point before you got the happy birthday, you want to be kind of playing close, so I'd figure out a game plan that's something like, okay, I'll throw grounded L dart, run behind it, and then get myself in range where 2 medium kick or jump heavy kick is a threat. Stuff like that. And then kind of like slowly focus on building around that. And then you start really getting a feel for your ranges with your buttons. You start trying to add in more buttons. You understand what you want to be doing in neutral, and so it feels a little bit less like flailing. And then so for you, Lucio, I'm trying to think of... You like jump light punch a lot, so jump light punch, jump heavy punch, similarly to how Destroyer's using jump heavy kick. Being in range for that. Possibly doing it with brass called behind it to make it really obnoxious to contest. Good mix. You've gone cross up every time there? Okay, reversal. I would encourage you to try and go same side next time. Because I also just want to see what that looks like when you do it. If you're faking it. But adding in mix is already a great step. Y'all are both pretty close to intermediate. Like, definitely borderline. Both know what you're doing. Starting to add in mix, things just aren't quite consistent and you're not fully comfortable in neutral, but keep playing for a little while longer and you'll be there. So yeah, for figuring out neutral, it's understand what you like doing a lot and then try and focus on being in a place where it's a really good place to be there. And that will kind of just, if you're focusing on something, that really helps you streamline your thought process, which then helps you figure out whether things are good or bad really quickly because you're constantly focusing on it. And so that's one thing you can just go into a lobby and go, okay, I'm going to focus on this right now. And that sort of deal. Slowly but surely you kind of build everything up together. I think those are just the two biggest things. And so yeah, like going back to what I was saying, I think more often than not, we're seeing you fall over the Fuqua trying to do jump medium kick, jump heavy punch. So it might be worth revisiting how we do the route, or putting the time in training lobby to understand how do I make sure this doesn't happen on small characters. Yeah. So you can actually use Emigrit pretty well in this matchup. It would block all of those love darts and it would block that super. You can do it to the super on reaction as long as you're on the ground, which I'm pretty sure you were at the time. Emigrit's a pretty neat tool. Play around with it more in some of these matchups. Giant step, no confirm, just get a little bit of extra damage. Good confirm. Just slightly too close to the corner. Weren't ready for it. Doesn't quite kill. Right. Good awareness. I understand the SSJ. You gotta do something there. I don't know if it would have chipped out, but if you go for any reversal option and it trades, unfortunately it just barely does enough damage. But yeah, so I think for the both of you, it's just getting a bit more consistency down. You're on hit in your mix, just going, okay, really understanding which buttons you've used already, how to adjust for a combo going slightly south that you weren't fully expecting. And it's just like the more times you practice, and if you practice on different bots, make sure you're not only labbing against one character because you might not realize you have issues against others. And then honestly, I'd recommend also playing against bots. It's something I did for a while where you don't have the full pressure of a match, but you still have someone moving, so you don't get your ideal hit confirmed that you get in training lobby. And so it's kind of just like, okay, they're moving around, I hit them in the air on accident, and so this changes where exactly they are when I start my combo. How do I adjust for this? How do I stabilize my route? Both of y'all are already adding in mix. Both of y'all seem to have a pretty good understanding of that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, keep on going. Neutral will come with time, just the more you play the game. Focus a little bit on getting that last bit of consistency for your B&Bs, because both y'all had some issues, but overall, they were there. Add in a bit more mix, add in a burst bait or two if you're feeling really cheeky, and y'all are golden. Y'all are really close to what we would call intermediate players. Yeah, do survival. Yeah, save it. So that's exactly what I would do. But I'm very happy watching both of you play. Let's get Lucio back in here and get Sandal in here. I won't start it just yet because I think he'll have a couple more questions.
Hello.
Oh, greetings.
Yeah, I joined earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you. So
Oh, good. Burst bait punishes her lack. So, it really depends. Burst baits kind of depend on a lot of things, but the TLDR is if they're on the ground, you have you have a window, but it's relatively small. If you burst bait them in the air, it's usually a lot easier to get a full punish. The window's longer because they're in counter hit state while they're falling for at least a couple more seconds than they are like if you burst bait them on the ground. But it's mostly just really getting used to seeing the burst and then immediately going, okay, I need to do this. And then on the other end, it's also seeing the burst, understanding burst baiting, seeing that they don't burst and doing your follow-up afterwards, and being able to, on reaction, choose between the two. Can you set the bot to burst randomly? I don't remember for the training lobby.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've messed with it. It's like burst after so many hits, random, but it always feels like it's the first hit.
Yeah, so you might not be able to do that in lobby. You might need to hop into like a training lobby itself with a friend to do that. Also, just doing it on bots, because whether they burst or not is somewhat random. But getting used to just recognizing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Bot level, I recommend just whatever you feel comfortable with. If you want to focus a little bit more on neutral, you can play a slightly harder bot difficulty. If you're wanting to only focus on combos and work on hits, play against an easier one. It's there's no correct answer, and it changes for everyone. So find out what works best for you. Just dabble. This is Get Gr8.
Yeah. Also, to add on what you were saying about burst, at least for me, when I do it, I do the burst bait and I just look to see if they burst. I'll just look for the because they're only looking for two things, right? So your
Yeah.
mental stack's pretty low. You just look for burst or the whatever that weird animation is where there's flash green or whatever.
Yeah.
At least it makes it easier for me. If I see burst, I just instantly press the button.
I'll give Big Sandal a couple more minutes. Because I did end up just talking to both of y'all last time. Would you still want an open lobby, Lucio, or would you be cool if we just said the last match was yours for this week and moved on? Either works for me. It's just up to you.
Well, if
Yeah,
you're doing
so-
a proper, oh, you first. You first.
When you say punishing it, are they able to block? Are you just struggling to do it fast enough, or are you getting hit with the burst? I
Oh
listed
my
3
God.
options, yeah.
The classic.
Uh,
They're blocking. That's not a
okay,
burst.
so yes, you need to have a setup that you know they won't do it. And so the best way to do that is honestly just have the bot set to burst immediately. Do your burst bait and make sure when you do the burst bait they're not hitting you. Also make sure you're not burst baiting with projectiles, because I know you're playing Fuqua, so if you burst bait with a clone, that counts as a projectile burst and they can block after. You need to keep that in mind. Projectile bursts are gold bursts.
It took me so long to realize that. I was doing the Parasol 2 MP tier thing, and they kept deading on tier. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. God, if Eliza could burst bait with Caught, that would be so dumb.
Dude, that'd be so hype. Dumb, yes, but so hype, dude.
Okay, so if they're not hitting a projectile or if they're not hitting you when they're bursting, it is mostly just either you're trying to go for too heavy of a punish for the burst bait, because sometimes you just can't get the full heavy counter hit depending on which setup it is, so you take a medium counter hit. And then you always keep that in mind when you're doing it, because those bursts are a lot better to do at higher undizzy, because then you're just doing them more sort of drain undizzy. You're going for the actual counter hit punish afterwards. But that again is getting a little bit into the nitty gritty. So it's the TLDR is practice against bots, see what the maximum punish you can get against it is, because sometimes you're just a little too far away for anything to work very nicely.
If it's a Fuqua burst, you can post it in Skullgirls General, and I can take a look at it. Or I guess Skullgirls related it, rather.
You just got really quiet, gamer.
Oh, yeah, sorry. If I don't eat my mic, sometimes it gets really quiet for some reason.
My old mic was like that, I understand.
I can't wait to get a new one, dude. I talk really animatedly, so my lips will occasionally smack my mic, and it's so off-putting.
For me, my issue was my mic didn't come with a pop filter, so it was either I was really audible but you could hear my breathing, or I was pretty quiet but I didn't breathe down everyone's ears.
Yeah, most definitely send the burst bait that you're doing, and you going for the punish, and I can tell you probably what's wrong with it.
Okay, pinging Lucy real quick to see what the deal is, and then we'll get a move on.
Dude, I've been seeing. I'm like finally bordering the point where I should probably just grind out a team and pass my advanced test so I can start doing the advanced lobbies, but it's so weird. I feel like this is gonna. I'm gonna go nerd out for a second. Naruto was in his academy for 2 years in a row, so he watched all his friends graduate, and then was in another one. And I feel like that right now because I'm like, oh, I'm getting an open lobby every week because I have too many hours compared to everyone else who joins now. don't think I've seen very many people lately either that I knew from back in the day. I guess just Dovadox, but
Can you tell me who just...
who just what?
Streamer mode prevents me from saying who's typing. It just gives me first letter ... and I hate it, and I can't disable it individually from streamer mode. So it like...
Soul Smog is gonna join. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, I'm just ranting. I'm livid about this.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
There's nothing for specifically right now. Okay. Wait, maybe there it is. Hide tags, I think. So if I do that, yep, there we go. Okay. Okie dokie do.
Qualify for versus sets. What does that mean?
Also, the VOD review channel is mostly for announcements about things. It's for announcements about the VOD review event that's run. I don't think anyone can actually post them there, so throwing it in for Skullgirls related. It's good.
It worked out, but I don't think the routing there was the best. Eliza was.
Yeah, I mean, this is early intermediate, so I'm not going to focus too much on it. Yep. That actually kept it in. Yeah, so next week would be the next time you're it would change if there were open lobbies, but so someone the reason Lucio's going again is because they joined yours as an open lobby, and so they had an opponent who didn't show up, so this became an open lobby for them. Gets a little bit messy, but yeah. Right, skeleton.
Okay. Pick up, pick up.
Blocks.
Okay.
Cheeky frame trap. Do we have these?
Oh, we could have picked up.
Yeah. A-Train. That's done. Yeah, so it would be next week. The signups sheet will go up again Monday-ish, and then, yeah, it'll be the same time next week.
Today it's 5.
5.
5, my favorite Get Great. I've mentioned this.
Alright. Oh, need my pad on my... or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not a pad.
What do you play on?
Empress.
Nice frame shot.
Keep them in, mix, cross up. I will... yeah. You have... I am interested to see if you ever do that same side, because if you never go same side, it doesn't really end up becoming a mix for people who catch on. And if you're starting to implement mix, you gotta start thinking about that. It's like, what options have I done? So the major thing that it's also there, so it's kind of okay that you're doing this, unfortunate, is are they adapting to your mix? If they're not, I'm gonna just keep doing it. So it's not a big deal right now, but
yeah,
would like to see. We're in. They're slightly too far away for that. You gotta get used to your ranges as Parasol. Max range confirms change up a fair bit.
Yeah, I think in that situation it was probably egret cancel.
Yep, L egret.
Yeah.
Could have also sniped there, but yeah, jump heavy punch.
Ah, we
catching
missed our
blocking.
button there. Ah.
So there, honestly, like Brass can do its job. I probably would recommend doing Beat Extend there. It gets you more reward for similar risk.
Oh, you can kill, you can kill. Yes.
Parry's unfortunate. That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Took ages taking me out of that lobby. Or getting me back into the lobby. Okay,
Gotta look
so one thing I have noticed is for Lucio, you end up doing raw jump heavy punch a lot, and while it's a big button, if you're not expecting it to hit someone who's on the ground, usually you really want to be leading with another button before you do the heavy punch. And so doing light kick or light punch beforehand actually gets you a confirm. And you do that a decent amount, but I do see sometimes where you're just swinging up the heavy punch and... Fortunate drop. Punish. Yeah. Skeleton.
Nice.
Start getting the pickup.
So, I don't know if I like bad tag as a reversal that much. I think it's okay every once in a while, but using it as much as you've been using it is a little risky.
Starting to get sketchy, but
Yeah.
okay. So both of you, band neutral is a lot more than just a train brass, a giant step full screen. Encourage you to think about a little bit more patient symbols. Incredible. That is your space control tool. And then once you get closer, you can do like spaced L or M brass. Those are pretty good tools. Unless you like are reacting to something or believe in your heart of hearts that it will hit, I would not recommend going for H brass or A train in neutral because they are one of the easiest things in the game to punish. We have near corner routes. Like to see it.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
If we had jab there, right?
I think so, yeah. I
Oh,
didn't see
tech
the
backwards.
use.
And there was also 3 bar, so recognizing when you can kill, mighty important. It might have just cost you this game. Yeah, so there, you... Yeah, just barely enough life. For Soul, there you can actually still go into Cartouche.
Yeah.
If you go into Cartouche, then stand heavy punch. If you pick up with a grounded stand heavy punch... Oh, it might not work versus band.
Versus a band, I think you have to use OTG, so you'd probably want to use Cartouche, Butchers to catch him, and then Axe, and then Bite.
Yeah, you might just have to go into Bite, and then you can pick up from Bite, or you can go for a Burst Bait. Yeah, I'll be keeping that in mind, because we have seen you just end routes with the jump heavy kick when you still had an Izzy left to work with. Do we know how to deal with Skeleton? We do, we're just... yeah. Sweep is probably one of the hardest things to do, because it's incredibly slow more often than not. Oh, heavy counter hit. So Snap is the metered option. That's usually works best. Throw can work, but if you guess wrong and they did that forward jump medium punch, you're down. So all of them have some downside. Figure out which one you want to be using in the moment. Good awareness of when we can kill.
I would say on Soul Smug's part so far, I've been noticing we're not really using Cot at all in neutral. I know DP inputs can be kind of scary to approach as a lower intermediate. I would practice him a little bit in the lab. It's a really good poke. Skeleton's good, but if you just go into Skeleton, you open yourself up to a lot of counterplay. It's kind of the like beginner trap for Les, I think. It's good, but you gotta know why you're using what you're using. Otherwise, you're kind of just putting stuff on screen, and that can put you in a messy situation if the opponent knows what to do.
The only royal you are is a royal hated by
Nice try, nice try. I see how
Yeah. So it's more to that point, similar to what I was talking about last set. It's think about having a game plan. What buttons do you like using? How do you get players to use those buttons? Just actively thinking about what you're doing will help you really construct a strong neutral game plan. Good reaction with this night.
It's a bit more of an advanced topic, but something to think about that like helps you bridge the levels of intermediate is thinking about like why you want to do something. I understand, like it's really easy to just kind of want to press things and put things on screen, but if you just do things without a purpose, you kind of, like Dunn said, it's not really the best. You're not part of it is like you're not going to really understand the situations that can happen if something hits, because you're not, like let's say with Eliza JMK, right? You hit with it, but you can go into like something that doesn't combo because you're not sure what you're doing, and that could lead to you getting hit. Like let's say Eliza JMK into like a late cartouche, you get hit, they whiff, you whiff the cartouche on them, and then they can punish you for that if they're ready for it. And that's not a situation you necessarily have to be in, it's one you put yourself in. And I think it's something that you kind of get rewarded for when you're putting stuff out with purpose. You put out the right button into that cartouche hitting and you get a nice combo, rather than a scramble situation you might not make it out of.
Yeah, and so it's like when you're this is gonna sound more harsh than it actually is, but when you're kind of just jumping around pressing things randomly, think of it as just like a dice roll. You're leaving up neutral the chance, and then whoever gets the first hit, then they get to see if they have their BNB, get to go into mix, do all that sort of thing. And so, again, to reiterate, it's like when you're rolling dice, it's really hard to see what's working and what isn't, because you're kind of just throwing everything at a wall and praying something sticks.
Yep.
And so if you go in with the intent to do something, by trying to accomplish this very specific goal, like I just want to start pressing this button in this range, you all of a sudden then start to learn, okay, this is good to do here, but if I'm in this situation, it's bad. And so the other part to that is, if you're focusing on something, you start reproducing a lot of similar scenarios. And once you start recognizing the scenarios, all of a sudden the neutral then becomes just intuitive. It's like, I've been here so many times because I've forced the situation so many times. I know my options are X, Y, Z, and I'm just going to choose which one I think works best against my opponent in this current moment.
Yep.
And that's kind of what neutral ends up boiling down to. It's somewhat simplified, but that's the starting concept. And so think about your goals, what you're looking to be doing. Do I want to be... It could be very simple as, I want to be controlling space. I don't want to run myself into the corner. And so you're just going, okay, if I don't want to be losing ground, what are my best buttons to press to hold ground? And so for like Parasol, it's, okay, I'm going to jab. I'm going to 2 medium punch if they're slightly further away. Or if, like I'm trying to stuff something. If they're going to jump in the air, I'm going to press stand heavy punch and like shut down that space. And obviously I'm listing a ton of options right off the top of my head because I've played this game for like 1,800 hours and I have those in my head. And so for you, it's like, okay, if this is my job, I think doing this will help me achieve it. You test it out, or you watch VODs and ask people who play the characters and be like, what is your opinion on this? And so there's the 2 different routes of just doing your research or just figuring it out yourself. I personally get really distracted watching VODs or doing labbing, anything of the sort. So for the most part, I've straight up just hopped into lobbies my entire life playing this game. It just gotten to me where I am. So there's no one correct way, just figure out what works best for you.
Yeah.
On that note,
It's always... Oh, yeah,
You're good.
go ahead.
You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's always crazy when you first realize that like putting stuff on the screen with a purpose like makes things happen drastically different. for me, a big realization was like playing when I played Triv. He played solo Squiggly, and that was back like a few months ago before I started getting a little bit better. And I was like, bro, I legitimately cannot do anything. I go to put something on the screen, and he's like, oh, okay, you're gonna jump. You've only been using this one button. Let me just kind of play that real quick. Here's some purpose.
I still remember Triv just understanding I am a very patient player, and so I just sat there doing 2 medium kick stancel, 2 medium kick stancel, and inching forward with a really obnoxious button to contest. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? But yeah, no, it's a process. I described it, but it's a lot of trials and tribulations. Just time put in, thought process put in. It's a very, very long road.
Yeah. My favorite quote for practicing is Bruce Lee said, "I don't fear the man who's practiced 100 kicks one time. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 100 times."
Yeah. On that note, it doesn't look like Aaron Cube is here. If there are any intermediate gamers who would like to participate in an open lobby, preferably, let me pull up the chart so I can just give a rough estimate. Preferably a bit more experienced than intermediate, around 500 hours plus or minus 100-ish. It would be a good place to look. If y'all are feeling like hopping in, we got an open lobby. Yeah, this might be a bit rough for you, Destroyer. It's a pretty big jump. If not, I'll do the ping in just like a minute or two. And if we still can't get anyone...
I can ready up if we can't get anybody, I guess.
Yeah, we can figure out something.
While we wait, I'm going to step away really quick. I will be right back.
Yeah, y'all are pretty even, Agent 5. If you want to hop in. And then I think one of these gamers asked for specific... Yep. Headless, okay. It's pinned in the channel! Can I also pin it in here? Wait, what? That... It's not what I wanted. I'll just pin this, too.
Made it back just in time.
Hey, so yeah, Retrodot, so Martivulet in the lobby is trying to dabble with Headless, so don't worry about routing too much, but if you have any point... Have you dabbled with Headless at all? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I've played it a reasonable bit. It's been a while, but so if you see any pointers that will make things easier,
Yeah, I gotcha.
that is
gotta
what they're
remember.
hoping to work on.
I gotcha. Yeah, you gotta remember it's me. I've pretty much played everything
Yeah.
at this point.
I just couldn't remember if you were mostly a head-on player or not, because
I am.
some people definitely just don't touch it. Meanwhile, I was the person who's like, I'm learning Fortune 4 Headless. I like immediately get this head off of me. I don't want to play with the head on.
After I got a little bit better, that's what I was messing with too. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
This is DNB. This is a really good team for setting it up.
Best you can. Alright. Got the hit, didn't believe it would be like that. Immediately set up into Headless. Triggered IPS.
And that's control.
Yeah. So, first thing I would say there immediately is, if you're gonna do a headbutt there, I would follow it up with another move. Probably, honestly, Sneeze. Because if you're that far away, as we saw, they weren't actually held down for long. So it's either that or unfortunate. It's either that or delay the headbutt until you're close enough for it to actually be a threat.
In that situation too, you could have done Nom. You weren't, if you're not like all the way full screen, I think Nom is good. You have a lot of time to just run up.
Yep. Yeah. I like Sneeze there because it would send it back towards you. There's so many things to keep track of with that.
Oh yeah, because it's like, do I want the head behind them? Do I want it in front of them?
Yeah. Usually you want it behind them, but if you're gonna commit through headbutt and a special, having it close to you so you can head it and refresh that cooldown early is incredibly important. Alright, this is a dead character.
Let's go. Oh, nice. We did this.
Oh, we're using headbutt assist, nice. It's an interesting assist for this team. I want to see how you have it set up. For agent. So you can actually tech that knockdown. Snap.
Ah,
so
snap.
The only way to deal with Squiggly level 3 is to snap. It will not go away on hit. You cannot invuln through it because it just won't go away, so it'll wait till you're out of invuln and it will stay on you.
Oh my god, that was filthy.
Squiggly. Oh, unfortunate, messed up the stencil. That happens. I do that all the time. Get the
This
kill.
is a minor nitpick. If you notice that Squiggly is low on health, Fortune has like arguably one of, if not the best tags in the game. I would tag in your headless focused. I would tag Fortune, Squiggly out into Fortune, and then you can reposition the head as she's coming in on their incoming. It's kind of like a lot, but
Yeah, for headless, it's really good. So if you're gonna consistently be headless, just honestly throw it out, see how it feels. And then the other thing, if you want an extra layer of safety, one thing I do, I play Squiggly on my team. I have different raw tags, but I just put an SPO in an awkward spot. If we're like mid screen or full screen and say, I'm gonna tag, you can't really do anything about this. Alright, we got the hit. How's their defense? Top forward, fair enough.
For that mix, I think it's a little easier. If you want. Oh, I might have exploded.
Nope,
Okay.
I'm seeing it too.
Okay. Instead of LK or MK into fast cancel, you can do MP into fast cancel. What is it? I can't remember the right term for this. Fast fall. Fast fall.
Yeah, fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're... So them hitting our head is definitely something to be concerned about. The issue is you kind of ran in with reckless abandon and got hit for it. You... Honestly, dash blocking is probably one of the best things you can do. Just force them to respect you, stop hitting it, and do nothing. And then once they've stopped, that's when you kind of go, okay, I'm gonna like still down back and just headbutt. Obviously, there are layers to it, but you have to protect your head, but don't do it at the cost of your point fortune, because then they're just hitting both and you're taking tons of damage.
Also, thought for you. Oh,
Good punish.
The head has a DP. Their buttons are gonna have a cooldown, and when they hit it, it resets the head. So you can wait for them to finish hitting it, and then input the DP to hit them for hitting your head if they're committing to it too much.
I know... Oh, this won't work. Okay, you know. Yeah, no, H. George ruins a lot of saying things. Always keep that in mind when you're trying to deal with it. And then, so, the point I was trying to make beforehand, I know that Silvercord might be in your chargeless confirm. Highly encourage you learn chargeless stancel, which is iffy. It's obnoxious and it's a different stancel timing, so if you don't feel comfortable, 100%, like, it's fine if you don't feel like learning that now. The other side to that is make sure you're only using Silvercord on hit confirm. Really try to avoid doing it on block unless you're like actively trying to frame trap people, because as we just saw, that is how to kill your Squiggly 101. Silvercord on block or on whiff is a death sentence for the character.
Also, versus Peacock zoning with Squiggly, I saw you were doing a lot of normal and double jump forward, which is good, but also try to work in some super jumps. You can get like, she's so small, you'll get right over the bombs and be able to get some good space going. This round start is so interesting. She could die.
No, Juki does the same thing when I play the Valkyrie. It's really hard to contest.
Ah, okay.
Mix.
Nice.
L fiber.
Okay,
Do
okay.
you have these? Unfortunate.
A little good. We had the right idea.
Yeah. Canceled the jump heavy punch too early.
Oh.
We got it this time though, I believe.
Okay.
So, right there, highly encourage you to practice the route without doing the Gato. It requires you to delay the jump heavy punch after the jump light kick, but that prevents those issues with Gato right there. That is how you stabilize that. So you do fiber, jump light kick, jump heavy punch, and then, or fiber, jump light kick, delay, jump heavy punch, and then you just catch them re-stood with your jab. Because otherwise that can happen for different size characters.
I think one thing for Articulate, I don't think we're really like paying attention so much on hit confirms. I've seen a couple situations now where we've had the hit, and like Van had no health left, but we went into DP or the character fell out, and we continued to combo and got hit for going too far. Yeah, it looked like he baited out, which is good.
What a confirm.
But I would highly recommend practicing your hit confirms. Just like try to keep an eye on the character that's in front. I know Big Band's kind of huge or whatever, but let's say you're hitting Band and Valentine, and suddenly Valentine starts blocking. You can recognize that in the first like 2 or 3 hits, which takes practice. It'll save you from a lot of situations like that. Just, oh, Valentine's out, I'm hitting Band, I should back off.
Or understand they're going to try and punish you for it and double down harder with like H5 to catch them.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
Depending on how psychopathic you want to be.
It's a high risk, high reward coin flip, but man, you'll get both characters if you're right.
Although that only works on head, because head off does not have strike involved.
Wait, I thought it was strike and bull, not throw and bull.
I thought it was throw involved, not strike involved. Right, for a
What
reset,
was-
we got the confirm. Okay. I'll check that with you while we're watching this. Mix.
Nice,
Oh,
nice
yeah.
transition.
I honestly prefer converting off of that with jump medium punch than jump medium kick, I'm not gonna lie. Overextend on the beat extends, it's pretty easy to do. Once again, yep.
Yeah.
One for you, Agent. We gotta confirm off that beat hit. That was a dead fortune if we didn't just bang them away.
confirm. Ah, a little too slow. That's okay.
Fair enough. I think I see you doing this intentionally. If you are, I love it. Squiggly tag, if you're gonna hit the assist, it makes punishing it so much harder. So that's a great time to go for it. If you're just going for it willy-nilly, think about when you're doing it, because god, that is a risky raw tag. Even doing it on the assist, if your opponent knows the situation. Oh, you got a cremation there. Max range to medium kick, only convert with cremation. It's so annoying to know. So if you didn't want to spend meter there, you still had punch available. If you do tremolo, you're actually +6 on hit, so you can combo that into jab.
Okay, you had this. Do you remember? This doesn't work. Did we?
No seeing SBO, that was a punish, even with uncharged.
Oh, you don't have to cover that. When you're headless, you can just input like zoom or nom or
Yeah.
headbutt
I mean,
while you're tagging in.
that still works. Because, I mean, if the band like brasses or something, you can get caught, so if you force them to block first, fair enough.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Because, and then even to that extent, so it's like, even if you're gonna do the SBO stuff, understand that certain teams, especially, it's mostly DHC synergies, will still catch you for it. So, like, if I try and do SBO and then raw tag into Eliza behind it, I can very well get, like, say if I'm playing Nope, I get card into Retina Reflector, and then all of a sudden I'm dead. So I always need to be, if you're going to go for those options, fully understand what beats them, and do not play into that.
I think one thing I'm not seeing enough is, at least for the headless neutrals, since you guys focus on that, try to put the head in places to make them move in certain ways. Oh my, nice that adaptation. The Phoenix then call every round start. But yeah, you can place the head in certain places, right? So you, let's say you put it behind them because they're sitting really far from full screen. You can, if they try to jump away, you can say, oh, they jumped, I'll input sneeze, or they're staying on the ground, I'll input headbutt to make my run a little bit closer. It's, I don't know, headless is weird because it's complex, but oh, that's interesting. It's complex, but like learning it, it's just like that. I don't know. There's not a lot you can say. Oh, I would get my head off immediately versus Peacock.
The head can do Arc versus P. Honestly, it's only a Robo I really detest playing it against. But yeah, we got. Oh wow, that. Never mind. You know more than I do. I really thought it was gonna break. Although I think we could have done level 3 there and at least killed the assist. We got mixed.
Nice. Yeah, you're too close for that. Nice.
Didn't get this thing first. Kill them? Unfortunate. Get the raw tag. It's hard to punish. Honestly, I want to just snap in this weirdly.
You already sound stun, Shigeto.
Keeping track of sound stun, incredibly important. Oh no. Level 3. Did we do this too late? Oh, okay.
Only because you didn't have OTG. Okay. Nice.
We didn't do the right one?
No.
What a jab. Yeah. Be very aware of what you're doing in a band's face. Tiptoe around that because, as we just saw, that can happen. But yeah, so for Artivia, it was a bunch of small things. Just kind of think about why you're using the head and when you're using the head. So it's like, if I'm full screen and my head's behind them, what am I trying to do with it? Do I want to save the head and force them to respect it, keep it on cooldown while I run at them? Do I want to frame trap them and then? Usually if you're doing that, you're going to commit to Nom to try and hit confirm or sneeze to get it towards you. One gives you a really easy confirm, one gives you the head close to you so you can hit it again and immediately reset it behind an assist. That's what a lot of headless end up doing mid-screen. That sort of deal, or it's like, if I'm in the air above them, I need to wait until I'm closer so I can frame trap any anti-air attempts they have. Or you can save it to the point where it's like, I'm just going to left-right you in the air because my head's close enough to hit you as I'm crossing over your head. A ton of just small stuff like that, getting used to where you want the head to be, what you're trying to do with it, how you want to move it. I saw you do launcher on the head, but I didn't see much of a follow-up. So the two things I'm really used to seeing is launcher into a jump, air dash, jump heavy kick, and just launch it completely across the screen. The other really common one is doing a fiber right on top of it. It drags the head with you, and then you can do a plethora of options. You have jump heavy kick there that sends it directly. If you want to bobble it close to you to make air-to-airing you really awkward, you press jump medium punch, jump medium kick. Jump light kick also works. You have a ton of tools to play with. She's an incredibly versatile character in both versions, so yeah, just get used to messing around. I gave you a little bit of a tip for head on for routing, so like keeping stuff stable. Do with that what you will, because I know you're not going to be spending as much time on head on. And then, I mean, the squiggly was looking good. Probably try not to autopilot your SBOs was one of the bigger things, because that's a habit I've fallen into before. Actively think about, okay, they are here, I need my SBO to be this, which means I need these 2 buttons. Because if you just constantly do light kick, medium kick, all of a sudden you die for situations you were correct. You just did the wrong SBO, which made you really wrong. But yeah, things are looking good.
Are we giving Ancient 5 advice too?
A little bit, but they're up again right now, so it's like I was mainly focusing on him.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have anything to add too much for Articulate, just combos wise.
But yeah,
We're not focusing on, so.
hop back in here, Agent. By the way.
Return, gamer! Oh, bag. I'm gonna be doing a peacock zoning pattern that I received from JP today. So you know already it's pretty evil.
Yeah, y'all are good to go.
Yeah, JP. I said I'm gonna be focusing on doing a zoning pattern that JP sent me. He sent it to me last night, and I took one look at it. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so stupid. It's funny too, because he used to work as an audio engineer, if I recall correctly, and the zoning pattern on block makes a drum beat.
Emigrit, my beloved.
I love Emigrit.
Just beats all of it straight up. Alright. Getting projectiles going. Doing a pretty good job navigating.
So, one thing I'll say, I noticed right away, is we're just kind of doing the peacock patterns, but we're not really like. Every peacock pattern you do is to sort of nice. That was really good. Every peacock pattern you're doing, you kind of want to corral them into a certain area. Oh no.
Oh, if we bypass there. Yeah, I guess we need to EKG. Actually, I might still lose.
Actually, we've adjusted already. Nice.
Good teleport.
I don't think you need to teleport.
It's a way to exploit he's overextending. But yeah, so is Brass. Be aware when Brass is in play. Yeah, you kind of just have to be really patient as banned when Lenny's on the screen. Yeah. You gotta become a parry god there. It's rough.
Yeah. I'll say right away, probably we could have been a little more patient. We instantly went for Giant Step with Lenny on screen, which made us take some chip damage we didn't have to take. And Lenny also counters Giant Step from full screen, so... It was just, I guess it's a little bit of awareness plus patience. There's a lot of stuff on the screen that could hit us at a Giant Step.
Yeah. And then... Nice.
Nice though.
One thing, I think I got the wrong assist, unfortunate. We're
Nice
doing
bypass.
Yeah, really good job avoiding a lot of this. We are, I will note, you are fishing for bypass a lot. That's the first one that's worked, but there's been 2 or 3 that already hadn't. There was another one you attempted, yeah. And so you
Yeah.
you seem to have a pretty good eye for avoiding most of the projectiles in the first place. That's a good bypass. So I don't think you need to force it as much as you feel like you do. But that being said, this is good.
Okay.
It's bold, but ended up working. If they hit the brass, they could have magneted and got a combo, so keep that in mind. Dova, you've got nearly 5 bar. We're spending it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, deserved. Don't go that far.
Never. Especially with Robo. She
Only
already...
so you'll see like PME do it, but he saves his assist to deliberately make it safe, because otherwise you're just asking to have what happened to you happen. Unfortunate.
Nice.
Patience.
No. Tried to push block it. I don't,
Oh, didn't keep it in mind. Yeah.
and this, I don't think we need to continue going up with JHK. Well, it seems like you adjusted, which is all.
Oh, that's a punish. Block to giant step is a punish for you.
Yeah.
Whenever you block that, your reward is hitting the big man. Couldn't quite get around for the confirm.
Nice.
Good awareness of damage.
So, I think the thing with Delvo Talk so far, I think we're kind of just hard committing to always having a zoning at like something to zone on the screen, even though we're not necessarily like putting out to cover options. It's kind of like what we said before about putting things out for a reason. I noticed with Peacock, we'll go out and we'll do certain zoning patterns, but we're not adjusting to where they move them. And then with Robo, we were going all the way up to full screen to do L beams when the only reason to do that would be like, oh, he might super or something, because you already can stop brass from happening if you play around it right. And it made it so he was able to make it pretty close on the comeback, I think.
And then for Agent, specifically for Band more so than the other characters, it looks like you're really willing to sit basically full screen and kind of just down back versus zoning. You've got to be making an effort to move forward, dash blocking, doing something, because you standing full screen doesn't really end up accomplishing anything.
Yeah. In this matchup, teleport's nice too, but there's another thing you can do that's a little less committal. Especially with like Band, you can call Band and get H item out, and then that you can hit them while they're doing their zoning patterns to make them stop and set up your zoning patterns first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the bypass now. I'm
No
not
OTG. Throw a projectile into brass. Loop you like that. Okay, I would not do a brass as your way to move forward unless you're in range and you're like actually trying to call something out. Oh, we got one of the parries. Yeah. Even more so when Lenny's on the screen. Lenny is your don't do anything dissuader, because if you commit to brass, they can on reaction Argus you and then get a full screen confirm when Lenny's out. Because the Argus will break the armor. So be very, very careful.
Nice. That's an interesting conversion of that. Dovo, you think you're representing DP a little too much when someone gets close to you? On that mix you're doing, Agent, instead of doing 5 HP, do 5 LP. It'll anti-air them, and if they do block it, you get to do another mix-up right after. That's small little thing, but it's really helpful. PvP has really got me with that mix. Okay. Nice. I like the way we mix that up. Trying to teleport too much. Yeah, Devil was holding H item. Ah.
Yeah. You gotta work on your parries for this matchup.
Ah. One for brass.
Parries are your major way of getting forward. You do have E-break, but again, on reaction, Argus is a thing, so not the best option.
Nice.
Good luck.
Nice block.
I do like that we're pressing buttons that go under beam. It's a really good habit to be in.
Ah, looking for confirm if it is too much. Excuse me. I don't.
Yeah, that's
Even
a lot of meter for nothing.
Yeah.
They're closer to 500 to 700 if I remember correctly. So
How many is Dova Dogs?
it's around 700, I'm pretty sure. Oh,
Nice.
okay, fair enough.
Oh.
Understood, you messed it up, salvaged it. There is no reason to push block Saw. Well, if they call an assist behind it, maybe. But their only other options are mine, which you can throw punish on reaction, or they go into try and frame trap you for throwing them, which if you just hold, you can end up punishing those. So like if they beam in your face, that's a punish. If they do M danger, that's a punish. And so that's kind of how you deal with the Saw on block.
Yeah. I think I have like a main focal point for both. I think for Agent, I think we're definitely putting stuff out without necessarily having a reason, like Brass and and Giant Step in the zoning patterns that got us hit. Try to like think about why you want to do it, right? Because we've talked about this a lot today, but I think the difference between like where you did the Giant Step and the HRAS jumping forward or super jumping forward could have saved you a lot of a headache, but we weren't looking for that. We were looking to put something on screen, which isn't always the answer. You got to think about why, like, what can you hit them with from where you're at if you're going to be looking to put them at a button, and when they're put to hit them with a button, and if they're all the way full screen in your big band, I don't think you have anything that reaches. So I think recognizing that situation as like, I shouldn't press something, I should try to move forward. Like Dunce has been saying this too. Recognizing like when to move forward is a big thing.
Yep.
I know it's
And
scary.
keeping in mind all the different ways to move forward. And so I don't know if I saw it here, but just a common example I see versus Peacocks is people get knocked down and then they just autopilot into attacking backwards, and it's like, congrats, you just put yourself full screen versus the Peacock. Try and think about every time you're moving. Be deliberate with your movement, especially versus Peacock, because whether it's ground tech or if you're playing, say, Valentine, so you have a double jump and an air dash, if you're just automatically double jumping, just on autopilot, all of a sudden you're basically playing as if you super dashed and you don't have a double jump anymore. You're just cutting off a movement option. So try and do things deliberately. And so if you're struggling to deal with zoners, honestly, that's the first step to look. It's a lot of it is about movement in this game.
Yep.
It's like robo zoning, when you look at it, isn't actually that bad. It's the fact that her mobility is nuts that makes her so annoying to catch.
Yeah.
Movement is incredibly important in this game, so try not to take it for granted.
I think with Dovo, I think we have like our zoning game plan down, but I think we're hitting the wall of like I put a lot of things on screen and no one knows how to deal with this. I think it works really well from like low level to like middle intermediate, but once you start reaching the higher levels, it's people start moving in certain ways and you're not ready for that, and they'll get around your zoning and get in on you. And right now your defense when they get in is like nearly every time I'm going to DP, so the counterplay to you as a player becomes, can I move past zoning? Yes. Do I have a punish for M-Bang? Yes. Okay, time for Robo. And I think maybe understanding where we're throwing our bombs and how that's going to make them move and what we can do to punish them or like hit them for going in that certain space that we're pushing them to is the next step for zoning, I would say.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, Dons. I know. Whenever I give like long form advice, I just like ramble a little bit, but I always feel like it's important to point little things out like that. Well, I guess it's not little things, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I talk the same way, so like I can't be upset. we both do very similar things. Actually,
is it my turn?
so the two people who missed it are actually both available.
Oh, put them up.
So, and they're a good match for each other. So,
Also, Agent, I've told you this before. You can always DM me if you have any questions, and then Dovo, same for you. And I know when it's long form and rambly, it's hard to take a bigger picture, but I'm always willing to elaborate.
and that's true for everyone who watches any of these streams. If you have questions, please just ask. This
Yes.
is to help y'all, and so if we're doing a bad job of giving y'all advice, help us fix that.
I beg, don't be me and just mauled every time you don't get it, but don't actually say what you were mauling about. Just tell us what's wrong. We can help you. I promise.
I love beam exclamation point. I can talk your head off about Parasol. I was looking through the pins in the server yesterday in Get Great, and I saw the old Penny one where it's just Parasol kicking in the door. Did someone say Parasol? That's me every time someone starts talking about the character. Penny Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That one is great. Oh, I guess our gamer can't make it.
Right, and you don't got to apologize about missing ping by 2 minutes. You're all good. I know you might feel bad about missing the first one, but shit happens. We would prefer if you know you're gonna be a bit late, just give us a heads up and we can schedule y'all like towards the end. But stuff happens. It is what it is.
PG-13, by the way.
Heck.
In the downtime, I've been studying like regular fighting game stuff, and it's actually made me so much better at Skullgirls.
I told myself I'd learn Central Fiction to get an outside perspective, and then I keep on just getting distracted not playing Central Fiction. I am completely addicted to an auto battler right now. I don't know if any of y'all have played Mecha Bellum, but I have been putting an unknown amount of time into that game.
I've been playing, I just picked up Xrd. Oh, there's a gamer. I just picked up Xrd recently, and that made me start studying around how other games are played, and it really expanded my brain. I imagine it'd be a lot the same with CF.
Central Fiction helps a bit. I was also just like, I need to figure out how, this is not Big Sandal, I don't think.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Okay. When I submitted what their Steam name was, it was something different. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Okay. I'm getting bamboozled. Yeah, I haven't. I, for once in my life, decided to finally change my Steam tag.
I forgot, what was it?
I mean, it was...
Am I gonna-
So it was just Get Great, Your Local Dunce, and then I think I logged in on my laptop, which I hadn't... So I brought that to CB, and I think for whatever reason, it still had my old settings, so it reverted my name back to GG8CCNDUYLD.
Oh, I see.
I was really confused, and I was like, wait, why is this... I swear this hasn't been my tag for months.
The one I distinctly remember was Tree Boy E-Boy.
E-Boy, Tree Boy. I love...
Yeah, that's what it was.
I love... There's a story behind that, but that's besides the point. We'll give these gamers advice first. Okay. So doing round start SBO is not as good as you might think. People can react to that while the screen is frozen. So in this case, the Annie can do Stinger, trade bar, and they won't get a hit on you. Or they won't get a combo on you, but Stinger will hit, and now you're squiggly without bar and less health than your opponent. So I would discourage the round start SBO. Versus players who are aware, they will react to it and punish you. We don't have Undizzy for this? No.
Yeah.
Weren't quite watching it. Actually, it was... Yeah. Oh no. Oh, this works!
Oh my god.
That's cute. Yeah, but we gotta make sure we don't give them a chance to attack afterwards.
Nice.
Back into Rav. Oh, yeah, weren't quite keeping track of our hunger.
With Fukua, JHK is good, but you shouldn't make it the only button you press in the air. There's a lot of ways to beat it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always track either. I would try to get a little more comfortable with using some of your other
Yeah.
buttons.
It's a good place to start. Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah. Upward JLP is a good button.
Yeah, Jump Light Punch is good, although it can be beat in similar ways. And then, yeah, just mixing up your approaches with those buttons, using an air fireball once you've dissuaded them from pressing. Also, just stick on the ground and try and catch them up backing with like 2 medium kick, all that sort of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many doors. Many doors.
Also, I'm wondering if these gamers play multiple games because we went from like playing like Strive and that kind of game where you do the full combo to knock down Doki into doing resets mid-match.
Pressure behind assist.
Because JP is not here to say it, I'm going to also say this. For the best and most consistent advice, we recommend you play the same team for all matches.
Yes. And one thing I'm noticing both of y'all's Annies do is up back and then try and play reactive. It's a pretty good game plan. Once you start favoring one or two options more than the other, it can be exploited. So like y'all are doing a lot of jump, air dash forward, jump medium punch, or jump heavy punch. This is something you see a lot. It's strong. It's not unbeatable in the slightest. So as we were talking about with Fuqua, like be diverse with the things you choose. Same with Anna. She's got some solid grounded buttons. She can just poke with her medium punch, with her crouching medium kick. Can also just be a nuisance getting L or M crescents out in their face, and a lot of characters can't really do much about that. And then yeah, our resident Annie tester has come in just to let y'all know, if you have 2 meter, keep in mind Pillar of Creation prevents anyone from doing things risky. So if they're trying to set up fireballs, Pillar of Creation. If they're just kind of like swinging around in the air, if you know they're gonna dive kick, Pillar of Creation. Or like if they're gonna air dash in, it's something to just prevent people from doing reactable options.
I think as well on defense, we're both of you kind of are doing the exact same thing on defense, and it's leading to a lot of like scrambles. As soon as the first interaction happens and there might be a mix, you guys immediately go for an option, and then it's leading to situations where it's like, I got hit and they move backwards, but I'm raw tagging because I was getting hit, and then your character gets hit and it switches back and forth like that. I think it's okay if you're noticing the other person's doing stuff like that. It might be a good idea to also wait after a drop combo or something like that and see how they react.
And because both of y'all are playing Annie, and this is happening, nice mix, and this is happening in the Annie mirror, for y'all, the answer to a person just constantly air dashing at you from like full jump height, start playing with 2 HP. Your 2 heavy punch is a phenomenal anti-air.
That button is so underused. We didn't have Shadow for Oki. I think. Okay, the call out of the century. With Fuqua, after BFS, you can pick up with M Shadow and get more of a combo. Nice 5 HK. Oh!
Oh, we're playing Silver Cord Assist.
It's
neat. Don't see it used all that often.
Yeah, the only person I've seen that use it.
Kubi.
Yeah. That and LB. Oh.
Yep, we need to really watch out for hunger. That is the main thing when playing this character.
Nice all guard.
Yeah, you really can't afford to press much. Oh, you don't have OTG, they could have teched. Cannot afford to be pressing much when you have no hunger, when you're starving. Almost nothing's gonna work because your buttons are abysmal. If you don't have the space to get out, you need to try and find a way to throw them. That's one way, because you can get a hunger pit bat that way, or you can commit to your flash kick, because your flash kick is a reversal that will also help you get rid of hunger, if not. Because otherwise you're just pressing some of the slowest buttons in the game. And that's not a great place to be in this game.
I'll also say, for Sandal, it's kind of gimmicky to use like button shadow a lot. It's really easily mashable on like with a button. It's a big enough gap, so doing resets that way is really likely to get you mashed on quite a lot.
Top backdashing.
Don't think this counts.
Oh, yep, gold burst.
Yeah. Cross up. It's a reset. Draining our health. We had OGG. I think we could have just used 5 LP there.
Yeah, but spending the bar prevents them dizzy from getting full.
That's true.
Yeah, not having a scaled incoming, so.
Nice overhead.
Oh no! But that was
I
the
should
gold
just
burst?
block there.
Unfortunate. Yeah, you kind of gotta be watching out for that. And that's one of the things they've shown they're willing to throw out a lot, so really be watching out for it. Some umbrellas will use it a lot more than others. It's strong. It's annoying to deal with. It's really annoying to deal with.
Yeah. I love throwing bombs with Peacock, and then suddenly she throws Reflector. I'm like, okay, wait. Why is our tongue grabbing me? Okay.
Grip. Very similar to Eliza Sewer Grab. It's just one of those things you always need to be ready for in the back of your mind. And it's hard to keep it there, but it's necessary. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I think if you see M Shadow hit, you can just land. I don't think you need to air dash. That's a big bounce. Big slappy.
Ooh.
This is interesting.
Does get her set up, but we don't kill the Annie.
Yeah, I'm going a little too far on our block strings.
Because Annie's really like getting that out in a lot of matchups, one thing you can do to really mess with their heads is use stand heavy punch to reflect it. A lot of them just aren't prepared for it. Snap.
Nice.
Up. I would recommend doing this in the other order. You can rebeat in this game, so doing jump heavy kick, jump heavy punch instead of jump heavy punch, jump heavy kick. I think it usually ends up helping. Unfortunate.
I don't know if you were listening to this on stream. If something's working and that's what you're comfortable with, don't try something new.
Yeah, this is practice for future, not do now. Both of you will end up liking to use sweep a lot. In the case of Umbrella, it works. Majority of this game, sweep doesn't actually see all that much use, because even if you break armor with it, you still don't get a confirm. People can tech out of those hits. So I would say adjust your use of sweep with that knowledge, because it's a good chunk of damage. Unfortunately, that's so annoying to punish. But yeah, understand you will not get much off of it. She's not too short, really. You gotta snap her to get rid of it. You had an opportunity to. We got to confirm. It should be a dead character. Munch, level 3. Nice. Great awareness.
You want to get great? You gotta sign up. Yeah, this is still the intermediate though, Koala. We're not quite there yet.
Yeah, so that level 3 will never go away unless the point character is snapped. I'm pretty sure if they DHC out of it and you snap the point character, it still goes away. That's something I need to lab because I'm not 100% certain of that. But if you can snap the squiggly, that is how you get rid of her level 3. Everything else is just delaying the inevitable until you die.
Oh, yeah?
Ito, you're literally not allowed in the intermediate bracket this community hosts. Bruh.
What I would say, as far as our gamers go, what I would say, for both of you, you need to try to start thinking about being more patient on defense. A lot of the hits came down to like, I dropped the combo, but I did a button that could come out before he was pressing, because the other player was pretty much always pressing something. As well, I think now is a good time to start learning resets. You guys got your combos down, which was pretty clear. I think we just didn't have the right resets, the right mix-ups to keep things going.
They had some setups, but they were a little bit iffy. Some of them were definitely, when you did them right, they were good, but you messed them up. So like you do the jump heavy punch, air dash backwards, left right with jump heavy punch again. I forget which one of you was doing that, but some of them they could literally only go one way. So that is me being an incredibly defensive-oriented player. I have an eye for those things, but if you want to start getting really good at mix, figure out what the tells are and how to shore them up, because you had mix could use a little bit of ironing out to be like killer, but
yeah. That's a better way to put what I was trying to say. Yeah. I think, other than that, I think we played pretty decently for Sandal. I'd say for Fukua, try to use projectiles. Nothing too huge. Just like get used to using them. For the squiggly, I don't know that we saw. Do you think red light, green light is too advanced of a thing to talk about?
I don't know. It's yeah, I mean, for me, it's really hard to do that, honestly. It's kind of just, you're really looking for something incredibly reactable to sing, and then you punish them with that. But if you practice that, and I highly encourage you do practice that, it's the same way Annie with 2 bars is. It's, another player is not allowed to do like half of the options they usually do in neutral if you can react to them.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're playing against a Parasol, if they go for any of their shots, boom, dead immediately. If you're playing against an Annie and they go for a Crescent, boom, dead immediately. If you're playing against a Robo who goes for a beam, some of them are a lot harder to do on reaction, but if like they go for a bad air beam, boom, dead immediately. It's just that sort of stuff where if you have the eye for that, if you're waiting for it and you have the reactions to then do it, it turns off a lot of what people like to do when they're playing the game. And so you can just catch out bad habits, people who can't adjust enough. And then the people who do adjust, you're severely limiting what they can do in neutral, so you can play around that. Because you know how limited their options are. So you go, instead of choosing between like 5 or 6 options here, they might have 2 or 3. And based on those 2 or 3 options, I can now choose like one thing that does well against all of them. And so that's how learning like Sing SBO punishes, Pillar of Creation punishes, all of that sort of shebang can really make that character so much more threatening.
One way that I practiced it for a long time is I would just hold the sing charge. I'd do sing and then kind of walk backwards and watch what they do. And if I didn't see anything after a little bit, I would just cancel back out and play neutral
Yep.
again.
The habit to avoid getting into is fishing for it, not on reaction. I'm bad about this, and a lot of Squigglies are. I was talking with Vending about this. If you don't have a way to get your charge back after, so like it's not as bad if you have an assist to cover you for doing it, but if you're doing that, you're getting rid of a massive resource. Charge is incredibly important for the character, not only because of red light, green light, but because of all of your stancels. It's incredibly important toward pressure, so understand just how valuable of a resource it is, that you can't just throw it out on a whim and think, oh, they're probably going to press here. Sometimes that's what it ends up coming down to, but more often than not, it's much better to save it for an actual reaction.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I had.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, if y'all have questions about the advice, or just have questions that you wanted answered during this set, but we didn't address because we focused on other things, shoot us a question in Twitch chat if you're here right now, or in the server afterwards if you're watching it and going, I really was struggling to deal with this and they didn't address it. Ping us, preferably with a timestamp. Gladly try and answer any further questions you have.
Yep.
Alright, and I think we're moving on to the last set, which is indeed hockey. So we got upper intermediate, lower advanced, open lobby available. First, leave it up to chat. If not, I guess I'll hop on. But first dibs goes to chat.
You know, I've been meaning to ask you about this. If a mod like times someone out, they have a sword. Why are we not calling it like putting a sword through their chest? Why is it shooting?
Because shooting is funny. Would you want to play a Tosha, or would you rather play someone?
Tosha. Okay.
Because I know how that goes sometimes.
If no one else, then I'll play Tosha. But I've had like Pharma 2 weeks and then a Tosha, and it wouldn't work for us to try. It's supposed to be like a little closer to skill level.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it would be hard to get much from those games, because it'd end up just being pretty offensively oriented for Aki.
Wait, is small Pharma in CC&D?
No.
So wait, how am I looping in CC&D? Okay, let me just wait a minute. There she is. Give it a second. Let's see how long this takes. Yo-Yo is a national treasure.
It's a clan, or whatever you'd want to call it. It's just a group of friends who have an identifier. So the same way, like, I don't have it right now, but Aki has GG8 or TBC in front of her name. It's just like a group identifier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi. Are you gonna accept, or am I gonna play Duns?
I think that's up to you.
Patient as fuck. But yeah, so yeah, that's literally up to
GG12.
I invited you.
you. Oh, my fault. You invited me 2 minutes ago. Sorry, I wasn't here.
Yeah, Mr. T on my timer. Mr. T on my timer.
I can shoot you. I can still
You know
shoot
what?
you. You're not safe.
Y'all
What
gotta
if we
hurry
get-
this up. I signed up for CCD.
What if we get Hydra in here right now to play me? You think we could do that?
Besides, I've been in Central Fiction time loop.
You're gonna try and hold tech and cry.
I'm going to tech by hitting B and C, and then just remember, oh yeah.
I'm thinking of air teching. That is always the biggest problem for me in SG when I come back from playing way too much CF. It's like, oh yeah, it's press tech, not hold tech.
I will mute so I can focus.
Yeah.
You guys have fun.
Let's see if I can still play SG. Ecock.
Yeah. They're playing the zoning pattern that JP was talking about yesterday or today.
I love fighting Jubei. I hit Jubei and I get to do my crouching confirms because lol I'm out Jubei. Oh, what the heck? Where the heck am I stuck then?
Set up. 3P things, okay. And yeah, overextending when they have something to body block for them. Gotta watch out for the sewer grab, we were just talking about this. Stop the counter.
I love delaying buttons slightly. Okay.
This don't work.
Oh, I gotta make a statement.
Munch. So, fold off a counter, but
The button.
you got thrown.
Oh, JP.
Yeah, versus Eliza, if you're too anti or happy, skeleton will be an answer.
Oh, win the game?
It's not the mid, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of just checkmate at that point. Feels bad.
They could have went right back to their body. And
I mean,
died.
the second you go back, they go back, they get beamed.
That's the funny thing of where I said they can go back to the body and die.
That's why I said it was checkmate.
I wanted to add my little quip.
Yeah, so never really. I mean, the P got started a couple times.
Wait. We already switching teams? What the fuck is this?
PG-12.
Aye.
But also, just as you were saying earlier, Haki, it's a lot easier to give advice if you stick with the same teams.
Aww.
Mix. Is there any version of that mix where they can get a mashup?
If they try, I can just burst bait.
I mean, yeah, but you also just reset them before they take the ground. Over. Whoa, they were pressing again.
You're up.
Wait. Oh, I was not keeping track of stages. What IPS would trigger?
Oh.
We don't have OTG?
Oh, my tech.
We gotta just stop there and kill the band, honestly. Snap the corpse? Nope. I hit the... Yeah, I don't know the rules behind that. You have to ask VP. I forget when you can and cannot snap. Hit the assist. I agree. You going for this can also get Pillar of Creation, can't it?
Yep. Hit stop moment. You know what? Fine. I'll be boring. Excuse me? My button? TO, my button?
Didn't need it. Alright, we've gotten rid of all of our meter.
TO, my buttons?
Jimmy, bang the timpani. Read the room wrong. Unfortunate. Band has ways to pressure in a way that would beat timpani and still just be a good income, right? Can Band super jump light kick and it beats timpani? Or is he just too big? Okay. So yeah, even if you're afraid of that, I would recommend doing that. I'm not entirely sure how well you can deal with parry OS after that, but you're hitting them with a multi-hit, so usually you're in a pretty good spot.
Literally this shit.
Yeah. Other than that, we're just... It feels like overall we're choosing a lot of pretty high commitment options, at least for the band part at the end. I usually recommend being really patient versus star power.
I didn't get deeper.
What do we do on hit? Yeah, go for a low, get hit with the bash. Don't think that push block went how we wanted it to. I think we're fishing for alpha counter a little bit too much. Some of the Fukuo ones are pretty good, but more and more often they've been, Oh, we don't get a Swiggly DHC. It might have just been inputs getting eat. Sunning it with the train. We're just pressing a lot, and it's kind of getting us killed. I feel like when we choose to be ignorant versus when we choose to be patient is really interesting, because it feels a little bit backwards. I know part of this is also just y'all have a ton of Yomi, so Atosha knows you really well, but... we're pressing when we're in really bad pressure, and then we're really patient at the times where Ito gives you space.
BBCF brain. Ew. Not ever hover available on my stuff again game. I am a woman of culture. I will press my buttons the way I please. Okay. Low?
Block, chicken block, deal with all that. So when they cartouche above your head... Okay, I didn't see the startup. When they cartouche above your head, that is your go-ahead to up, forward, throw. That is a straight-up punish. Even if they're doing it on your assist. Just make sure you don't get hit.
Man.
Don't get hit by the cartouche. But, yeah, that is not something people can whiff willy-nilly. Good defense until the very end. That happens.
Controller drop on me, I will taunt you. Why couldn't Brass be on anyone else? Actually, wait, I'm getting Marie's Brass.
They're calling it there.
I mean... What else are you gonna do?
Do you have any advice, Ito?
Not really, I just kind of... They'd never chicken block Brass, so I kind of walked with them for free.
They did a couple times, so you just weren't committing behind it, so... You just pressured behind it.
Yeah, that's what they call their own Brass. Or other assist.
So that's the advice you give. Outside of that, there was... You were calling cremation... Or rather, the best way to put this is oftentimes it felt like you were expecting them to approach, and Ito knows she doesn't have to. So it's like you'd call cremation mid-screen at a range where it wouldn't hit. It would only hit if they moved forward. So they would just sit full screen, call Brass to punch the crap out of your Squiggly, and then move forward behind that. Or they would still just not do anything and sewer grab you because you were waiting to react to them to approach. And so, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, feels like your game plans might be heavily oriented around people running at you. And so if they're not doing that, it feels a little bit more aimless, like you're not entirely sure what to do. So you sit there for a couple seconds going, oh, they're actually not coming at me. And then after that, sometimes you slowly start to approach. It was kind of hard to see because oftentimes you would get caught with sewer grab in the, oh, they're not approaching phase, where it's just like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Oh crap, there's a sewer grab at my feet. And that will happen. But I mean, that does happen, but it was happening consistently. And so it's like thinking about what you need to do if people aren't going to approach you. And so it's like there are two trains of thought.
Keep going.
There's I have the life lead. They have to approach me at some point. I'm gonna play patient, especially with like the brass mirror where you can counter call the brass to them. They are forced to initiate. If you are forced to initiate, you need to have a game plan according. So it's like, if I'm playing the Eliza mirror, I need to go forward. I am mainly watching out for space buttons, specifically caught, so I can't really overextend with like IADs, especially like fishing for long range IADs like IAD jump medium kick. I am moving forward slowly. Or you can opt to try and boat from full screen. It will actually wait. Does boat projectile armor throne? I don't know how that works because throne's a weird projectile.
Yes, I think. I haven't seen those interaction in a while.
But it would probably hit throne before the projectile would even hit, though, because you can break it. That avoids sewer grab as well. And so you can do that to get a little bit of space and then cancel it with your own throne or something like that. Cancel it with your own thing. That's one way to move forward. You can just dash block, call brass, dash block behind it, and then threaten an IAD from closer where caught doesn't catch you as much.
You're saying the specifics of what I was just popped into my head. I never really felt like they were choking off much space, so I just had a lot of room to do whatever. And we saw what happened when I have a lot of room to do whatever.
So I think you honestly play a lot like I do to this day, but especially when I used to play, where it's kind of just like I don't end up doing much, and then I let you like just go on the offensive, and I wait for you to mess up on block. The major issue with that is once you start playing against better players, they don't mess up on block, and then all of a sudden they really start exploiting your defensive habits. And so like the first couple of times I played Gelato, I straight up didn't get to play the game because she's just like, you can't push block here every time. I can layer my assist to the point where it's literally never your turn. And that's what would happen. So it's having game plans for that and then understanding how to mix up your defense, because I know y'all do have a lot of Yomi, so Itosha just understood when you were and weren't going to be going for things. And if you struggle to adjust those habits, it's really hard to play the game, even on defense. And so like the things to look out for are, it becomes a lot more complex than just, am I going to block high, am I going to block low, am I going to block throw? It's, you're expecting to block. You just commit that, because like obviously you're paying attention to what options they're choosing for mix and you're rolling those dice. But beyond the block, it's going, do I push block early? Risk getting push block baited. Do I push block at the middle where they might give me an option to PBGC? Do I threaten to push block late and try and mess with them that way? And then once, like, it's a lot of varying your push block timings, and then once they're like dashing forward to try and make up space for dealing with your push block, that's where you all of a sudden stop push blocking, you catch them dashing at you, or you catch them trying to press a slow space button and you mash on them. And stuff like that. And so understanding when and where to do that, where exactly you're getting exploited, matters a lot. And so it's like the two major things I saw, so it's like Itosha, when she had lowered air dash mix, you kind of just have to hold that. You have to guess correctly. I saw you pressing a couple times, and that's really dangerous if you don't have an air reversal, because what's it called? You can't just get reset in the air. We saw it happen, you got counter hit. When the Eliza's like point blank on you, I saw like her IADing jump light kick point blank, and it would get a counter hit. Stuff like that. And so it's like when you're getting smothered, it really felt like you wanted to press a lot more, when I think being patient and push blocking them out and then playing the push block games works better. Compare that to when you actually did block and you were patient and you push blocked them out. They respected your options afterwards, and you both kind of froze there, waited 3 seconds, and then Itosha would act first again. And then it would be right back into the blender. And so it's like, if you notice after you've blocked layer 2 or layer 3, and like you've actually more or less reset neutral, and you notice they're respecting you, that's when you go, okay, I'm gonna dash forward, or okay, I'm gonna call an assist here, or like I'm gonna up forward and press a button and like force it to be my turn. And then that's where you start cycling through all the layers once they adapt one way, and it's like, okay, if they start doing this to deal with this, I'm prepared to immediately adjust. The next time this happens, I'm thinking about this. And that is like just the cycle of the game you're approaching, where you not only need to know what option beats what they're doing now, be aware enough watching them to understand what's beating them, and then to know the next step of they're going to adapt one of like 3 ways to deal with what I'm doing. Here's how I have a plan prepared for that step. Yeah, I know it's infuriating to just play defense all the time. I lose my mind playing race some days. It's just like, no, this ain't it. That's rough. Hopefully you are able to come back at some point and watch this and hopefully get a better idea of what might need to be done. Do you have any other things, Ito?
We're chit-chatting in TPC real quick, because I'm just more harping on the fact that if you're not going to fight me for space, then you're just going to end up back into the corner into another lecture about defense.
Okay. Yeah, on that note, I've got to get things closed up because I've got a tournament to get myself to. Speaking of which, I can actually just trade them. Is it... The Twitch channel is the full Corn Club Never Dies, right?
Say that again?
I figured it out. No worries. But yeah, yep, that looks right. Okay. Shooting y'all over there. Yeah, we can figure something out, Agent. And also, if you want further advice from like a sub you played again, just ask, and if there's like a specific thing, shoot it with a timestamp. But if you just want us to revisit and look at it with like a fine-tooth comb, I can also do that afterwards if you're not quite happy with the amount of advice you got. Because again, it's a learning tool for y'all. If y'all aren't learning, we're doing something wrong. Yeah, there's a chance I might be busy with Father's Day stuff tomorrow, so I can't promise everything, but we'll figure it out.
Tomorrow's Father's Day?
Yes, tomorrow's Father's Day. Enjoy y'all's Father's Days tomorrow. Enjoy the TBC, or not the TBC, the CCND tournament. Have a good night, everybody. I forgot to play the video, whatever. I'm lazy. JP will forgive me. Give CCND my regards.
Oh, perfect. We are here now. I can just add bracket and look at it. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't look that too. It doesn't look too big. Oh, there's biceps, BBP, full bleed, koala, queed.
Yeah, it should be an advanced
Jason.
option to reopen, right?
I don't know how to use Get Gr8 anymore. There's nobody.
There's like a big red thing that says
it's all either
reopen.
below or way above.
Yeah. I mean,
I think you and koala are pretty even.
no, it's... Yeah, there are things to take from that game. I would definitely take a breather, wait a day or two, and then go back to the conversation you're having with Ito and TBC, as well as I talked a decent bit towards the end after you left. So it's kind of just take a second, look at it with fresh eyes, and see if that helps at all. But yeah, I feel you. Sometimes it's hard to get a good match.
I'm not like all that tilted. It's just, I don't know. I learned what I already learned. I don't know how to control space with this team yet.
Okay.
Oh, then,
Wait.
What?
I don't know.
I'm
Attempt
gonna-
what I did.
I'll have to go back and watch those.
Yeah. I mean, take a good look at what Ito was doing, because y'all were playing more or less a mirror. Like, the mids were different, but...
For the most part, I just kind of looked at you, said, "You're not gonna aggress? Okay." And then I went in.
Yeah.
Why am I being pinged? Any gamers verified on Metro enough like
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. How'd you set up my Trino without being verified?
Great. Now my being requested to have my brain picked about offense. Little do they know, I just go in. Like, my thought process is, this is SG. Hold like a million 50-50s on everything until I either hit you or you push me out and we just loop neutral again.
Yeah, as much as I'm able to think and pay attention on defense, I cannot. Well, it's generous to say I think on defense. I don't think when I play this game. I just know for some reason. And it works for defense and it fucking blows for offense. Oh, my offense is trash.
I think more about offense than fucking Central Fiction than this, because Central Fiction is just... Oh, I'm looping. Okay, yeah, this is fun. Oh, they woke up Mash. Fun. I'm gonna bait this DP. Wait, it's Naruto. Their DP goes across the fucking screen. I can't wait for JP to murder me for cursing. I'm still waiting for it.
Joins the call. Frame 1. Chris. Oh man, yeah, people joined all the time. Or really late.
Yeah, there's 13 of y'all. It's not that big.
Yeah, but last time I looked at it, there were 7. And that was like 30 minutes before.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it's probably gonna go pretty quickly, I won't lie.
Yeah.
That's obviously bar your says, because you don't care about going the time. I see LD killing Koala, and then going into it, and BBP killing everything else. And then LD versus BBP, it might take a while. Biceps is just probably gonna run a fucking train through whoever gets in their way.
Wait, is LD? Oh my god, LD's playing.
Yeah,
Why is LD playing in this and not, or just LD just double dipping?
I don't know.
I need to go pull up the funny. Hmm.